Okay guys, last session drilling our armbar defense. Okay, last week we focused a lot on how to break the grip, and now we're going to learn how to escape it. Okay, so starting next week, I'm really curious to see how, when everybody gets in those scenarios, who can get the armbar finished and who can escape from the armbar. Okay, so it's a nice little change up. Okay, can I borrow John, please? Wherever he is. Thank you very much. Okay, so starting off with kind of preemptive measures on how to stay out of the armbar in the first place. Okay, everybody's like, oh, how do you escape an armbar? Okay, don't get in there in the first place. Easier said than done, of course, but there's always something about preemptive measures. Okay, so when John has me mounted, okay, right? What do we want to avoid doing? We want to avoid bringing our elbows up, exposing the space in our armpits. It's going to allow him to climb up into a high mount position, and now it's going to be a lot harder for me to use my elbows to defend myself. So again, good defensive posture. Right now we're just talking about grappling, right? If there are strikes involved, I would need to do something a bit different, okay? But grappling sense, remember, we keep our elbows nice and tight to our ribs, framing on his hips so that he can't climb up into a high mount, okay? And constantly pushing him as low to a mount as possible. So that way when I do want to escape, my hips have to travel a very small distance before I start to escape, right? If he's all the way up here in the high mount, for me to get my hips past his, it's going to be a long distance traveled, okay? So just preemptive measures, keeping our elbows tight, framing on his hips, okay? And keeping him in a low mount right here. We're in a good spot to start escaping, whether we trap and roll or we hip escape to get back to some kind of a guard, okay? But here nor there, okay? So we're talking about the arm bar, right? So whatever happens, maybe I made the mistake of pushing John's chest instead of pushing on the hips, right? And it exposes the space in my elbows, and he comes around, he starts to swing for the arm bar. Boom, boom, he's here, okay? Cool. So the longer that I hang out in this position, the more time he has to settle in, okay, start to work to unbreak my grip and finish the arm bar, okay? So time is of the essence. The second that I see this leg start to swing around, I gotta start moving, okay? So the first thing I gotta do is I gotta get my hands together, okay? That's gonna be my first preemptive measure, all right? Pulling my fist down to my chest and preferably keeping this elbow nice and glued to my ribs. Okay, that way he can't cross his ankles behind my hips or my shoulders right here. That's going to make the escape a lot harder. So right away, I grab my hands together and I try to keep my elbow nice and tight, right? So that he doesn't have the option of getting his heel on. And it's going to make our second escape nice and easy, guys, if you remember, okay? So, boom, hands together, right? Palm to palm is going to be the easiest way. But if you can figure four your own hand and get your arm underneath his hamstring, that's a super strong defensive knot right here, okay? Very, very hard to unlock and get the finish, okay? But this is going to be a lot faster, especially in the gi. You know, the gi, there's a lot of extra friction, a lot of extra material, so sometimes it's hard to get your hand underneath his hamstring. So palm to palm, gable grip, cool. Okay, so again, right here, as soon as I feel that leg start to come up, what I want to try to do is I want to put John on his back. Okay, now normally we talk about one hand controlling the arm and one hand posting on the mat. That's our padlock and post. Okay, so depending on which arm he's posting, I got to try to get his back on the mat. So for me to try to drive him in this direction is going to be hard. He's got a post there. Okay, and then flip side, if he switches his padlock, it doesn't make sense for me to try to drive him in that direction because he has a post. So you have to decide, okay, which arm is he controlling me with and which side does he have like a weak base, okay? So assuming he keeps this padlock, assuming he keeps that, now I know that it's going to be hard for him to post if I try to drive him in that direction, okay? So a concept is whatever arm he has padlock, I want to try to put that shoulder to the floor, okay? Regardless of which one it is, okay? This one's going to be a lot easier. The other way is going to be a lot harder. So let's just start with this one, okay? Hands together. What I want to do is I want to walk my feet away and start to turn my hips towards him, all right? I want to bring my chest towards him. Now, I want to bridge in that direction using my head, my chest, everything. I want to try to put this shoulder on the ground. So I walk my feet away, and then I bridge. Right here. Puts his shoulder on the ground. I continue to drive until I can see his hips over top of his head. And I continue to drive my weight over top. And then a lot of times I'll post this foot up as a little bit of a wedge to keep his hips higher than his head. All right, just like that. Now, again, I'm putting all my weight down, and I'm going to do it light right now for the training, but the idea is to put his knee right into his own face. Right? You want to smash this position, make him very uncomfortable, make him want to let go. Okay, and slowly but surely I want to make little short jerky motions until my elbow comes free. Okay, don't try to pull it all out at once. Okay, because a lot of times you're going to force yourself to extend your arm, and he's going to finish the arm lock right here. Boom, right there. Okay, so keep that left shoulder down, right? In this case, the outside shoulder. Keep pushing it down as you slowly start to shimmy that elbow free that's being attacked. Okay, now the elbow's clear. I'm no longer in threat of an arm bar. Okay, but just be careful on attacking right away because he can always switch to a triangle. Okay, so when we escape a position, if you're not sure on like where you are. You know, maybe if you're smart and you're safe, you can pass right away, right? But if you're not sure, I always tell you to disengage. Okay, so we're here, boom, I get that elbow free. If I'm not sure if I'm in a good position to pass, I disengage, get my legs away from him, and get my hands on his shins. Okay, now from here I can start to direct his knees out of the way and start my passing procedure. Okay, so but if you escape and you see the opportunity, pass right away or re-attack, awesome. But if you're not sure, disengage, control the feet, and then you know at least you're safe for a second until you decide to re-engage. Okay, another angle. Okay, all right, now switch padlock. Okay, so now again, now I can't drive him in that direction. Okay, so now I gotta bring my feet this way and bridge here. You see, just a little difference in direction that I bridge makes a difference. It's gonna be a lot harder for him to post. We ended up in the same position. So I don't care how you get him on his back, as long as that's where he ends up. Stack, wedge, little short jerky motion so that elbow is clear. And then again, you can pass right away or disengage. Get your feet away especially. Okay, especially guys like to play with leg locks. The second you pull away, right here, right, I get here, I pull away, but I'm still engaged with my feet. He can start to hip bump right here and knock me over, or he can start to leg entanglement, right, where he starts to attack my legs. Okay? Don't want to go too far from there, but that's the idea. So get your legs away and get your hands between you and the person. And that way you can start to pass right away. Okay? So one last time, just right from here. Yep, boom, go leg over. Okay, boom, right here. Again, I can feel, maybe I do a couple of bridges, and I feel where his post is. Okay, his post is that way. See? Right? Anytime you bridge in that direction, it may be a little bit awkward sometimes, but you'll get it. Stack, wedge, shimmy the elbow, pull away, disengage, and then hands on the person's shins. If you have the gi on, you can grab the gi material, but I'm usually just right here on the shins. Now I have the ability to start passing however I want to. Whatever kind of passing series you like. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Arm bar, hands come together. Oh yeah, say yeah. 1, 2, 3. Arm bar, hands together. I want to bridge, put them on their back, stack them. Little by little, shimmy that shoulder out. Right? We're here like this. Little by little, shimmy the shoulder out. Or the elbow, excuse me. Boom. Clear, disengage, and then control the ankles or pass right away if you're confident in that. Okay? Questions? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Look, real good little detail. Real good little detail. Okay? If he has the north side padlock, so just for the camera angle. If he has the north side padlock, so my head is north, so his left arm would be north side. No, left arm padlock, right? Boom, okay, right here. All right, so I got to bridge him this direction. I got to put his left shoulder on the ground. When I get here, boom, I start to turn right here, right? If I don't get my right knee close to my head, I'm not going to be able to stack him. See how my right knee is far away? I don't have the ability. You're going to force yourself to put your hand on the mat to push yourself up. But now you lost your support arm, and he's going to hyperextend you. The second that you're here, he's going to start to hyperextend that elbow. Boom, tap. Okay? So when I bridge, right here, and I turn, I got to get my knee close to my head. Now I can use my knee to help push and get to the stack position. Okay? Does everybody see that little detail? Okay? No different than when we do our bridge and roll escape. We trap and roll, right? We got to bring that knee up nice and high so that we can get to our guard base. Okay, so just a little detail on that bridge and turn when it's the other arm. Okay, when it's the north side padlock. Other side, it feels a little bit more comfortable. Okay, the other way, it feels a little bit more awkward, but that little detail will help kind of fix things a little bit. Okay, so I want us to take just like another minute, and I want us to focus on that north side padlock. Okay, so everybody's arm that's closer to their head, that's going to be the arm that threads through for the padlock. It's going to force them to put that. Okay, so I want everybody to do two more piece, focusing on that exact scenario. Okay? All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, time. All right, good. All right, so again, that bridging direction is always a little awkward because you're kind of going a little bit more over your head. All right, so that's why it makes it a little bit more awkward. Okay, so that's no problem. Okay. So okay, now we're here. Just get the arm bar right here. again, like I mentioned, that the longer I hang out here, right, and this elbow starts to come up off the ground, he can start crossing his legs underneath my my shoulders, and that makes everything a lot harder, okay, because he's really isolating my shoulders and smushing them together, making me a lot less mobile. So again, keeping this elbow nice and tight during the initial escape is going to help you, okay? Plus, it's going to help with this initial scenario, okay? So again, if he doesn't have his ankles crossed, all right, what I want to do is I actually want to turn, and I don't want to turn, like push my butt towards him, okay? What it's going to do is give me more range of motion in this elbow. I want to try to get this elbow underneath this calf right here, okay? But sometimes it's hard, right? So you don't have that much range of motion because he's always going to be pulling on this arm, right? So sometimes I don't have as much range of motion on this elbow. So if I turn my butt towards him, all right, a lot of times it's going to give me that range of motion to scoop my elbow underneath this stomach side leg, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so again, I bump into him, I pull my elbow underneath, and now I can use this as a little wedge right here. Okay, what I want to do is I actually want to walk my feet towards it, and I want to work to trap that ankle. Okay, now I'm turning back towards him, and I want to climb up his leg, like a little rope. Okay, so as I turn back towards him, I'm slowly starting to climb up his leg. All right, while maintaining a good bend in my arms. Okay, now from here, his knees are very, very far apart, so he doesn't have a good pinch, obviously. So again, the same idea. I'm going to slowly start to shimmy that elbow to the floor. All right, once my elbow's to the floor, I'm no longer armbarred, so I can let go of my own hand. Okay, so I can use my hand now, and I can push, work to get to my knees, and now I'm in this position where I'm in a very similar position to where I was. All right, his leg's still over his head. I don't have to worry about the triangle as much because now his leg's in between my leg. All right, so now I'm in a really good position to start passing. If he keeps his leg here, I drive my head to the floor, back step, and pass that direction. Very simple. We get here, and he realizes that I have an opening. He's going to loop his leg around, and now I just drop into half guard, and I can pass this direction. Okay, frame on the knee, drive to the floor, and I can establish my mount, or I can just do a very simple back step out, and now I'm in side control. But here or there, I just want to worry about the escape. So again, we're here. Okay, again, assuming he doesn't have his ankles crossed. All right, I'm going to shrimp into him, elbow underneath the ankle, walk my feet towards it, trap. All right, turn into him, and climb, climb, climb. Right from here, little by little, shimmy that elbow out. If I don't feel confident coming up, I can always push him away, move my shoulders away, and continue to make space and get my feet between me and him. Okay, if I just want to play on the bottom for whatever reason, okay, so I don't always have to come up on top. But I'm just worried about escaping the armbar. Whatever happens after you escape is on you. You can decide to come up on top, you can decide to re-attack, or you can decide to completely disengage like we did with the first one. So start with the armbar, go to the beginning. The second that I feel that leg swing over, I'm already starting to scoop that ankle. This ankle right here. So go ahead, boom, attack. Right there. I feel that leg starting to come around. I'm already starting to shrimp into him and getting this elbow underneath his calf. And I'm here. Okay, now I know I have quite a bit of time. Elbow to the floor. Get to my knees. And this is the passing position that we're in. Pass this way if his leg stays there. If his leg goes that way, I just back step out and I pass the other direction. Very, very simple, but just focus on the escape. One last time. Full back, full back. All right, we're here. I make the mistake of pushing. He armbars me, elbow underneath right away. Catch, climb, climb. Shimmy the elbow down to the floor. Get to my knees, and then right here we're in the passing procedure. Okay, or I can start to re-attack right away. All right, this leg's over my shoulder. I can sit back and start to attack the legs if I want to. Okay, but don't worry about that too much. Okay, any questions? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right, time. Good. So you got a couple of nice ones right there. Right off the bat, again, just your reaction as soon as that leg starts to swing over your head, is going to help you escape right away. Don't hang out there and okay, which escape am I going to do? Know which one's your favorite, and preemptively get that ready to go. Whether it's bridging them onto their back, or scooping underneath their calf and then catching in between your legs. So again, whatever scenario you're in, just be ready. Okay, you can tell when you're going to get armbar. All right, the guy's got to do a few steps. Right, sometimes it's a quick swinging motion, but a lot of times you're going to see it coming. All right, so just preemptively be ready. Like nobody's like all of a sudden armbar you from the mount. You've got your elbows coming up like this. He's putting weight on your chest. He's starting to turn, cut his angle. Oh, armbar's coming. So you can at least keep yourself ahead of the game defensively a little bit by recognizing when you're going to beat into a submission. Okay. All right. So last one is the hitchhiker escape. So let's do it from this position. Armbar here. We'll do it from a couple different angles, but okay. So right here again, no ankles crossed initially. You got my hands locked together. Cool. Okay. So I'm actually going to let go of my own hand. Okay. I'm going to let go of my own hand, and I'm actually going to work to more or less extend my arm. Okay, I need to extend my arm so that way I can rotate my wrist and start to walk my feet away from the arm lock. Okay, so it's called the hitchhiker. So, like real quick, just let me sit up. So when we're getting arm barred, our thumb is actually pointing like this, right? Because my back's on the ground, my thumb is facing the ceiling. Right, this is how I get my arm broke. My thumb is facing the ceiling in this position. Okay, so after I extend my arm, what I want to do is I want to turn my thumb up, and then actually continue to rotate it back down the other way. So you are turning your thumb up, but continuing to externally rotate your elbow, so your thumb's actually going to be pointing down. Okay, that's the idea. So as I'm here, as I extend my arm, I want to work to start to turn this elbow out, externally rotate. Okay, don't get completely straight and then work to turn it. By that time, he's going to be controlling your wrist, and then it's going to be hard to move. Okay, while he's only controlling your elbow, I have play in my wrist. So while he's just controlling my elbow, we're here, he's usually just locking down the elbow. So I have the ability to move my wrist if I want to. Right? So I actually let go, extend my arm, and start to turn my thumb down. Like that. Like your thumb points back towards him. Okay? So as I do that, I want to bridge, and I want to start to turn my three shoulders to the floor. And what I want to do is I want to continue to walk around, and now my elbow is pointing in the complete opposite direction that it just was. So he no longer has the arm bar. Okay? So this is called a hitchhiker escape. Okay, obviously hitchhiker. Right? All right, this move takes commitment. All right, it takes intent. Right? You can't be like, I might hitchhiker now. Like, nah. Right? You gotta do some different escape. Hitchhiker, your arms almost extended completely, so it's something that you have to just go through. So it takes a little bit of confidence and a little bit of range of motion in the shoulder, but more of it is going to be confidence and intent. The second that you start to extend your arm, turn it up, bridge and turn the opposite direction and go belly down. Okay, so it's hard to do slow, but I'm going to do it. So again, we're here. Right, get my feet ready. Let's see the direction. I'm already starting to bring my knees. If my knees are pointing this direction, I'm already starting behind the 8 ball. All right, so I know I'm going to hitchhiker, so I start already bringing my feet in this direction. I let go. I start to turn my thumb back towards him. I'm going to bridge. Look at all this hip extension that I have. Now I continue to rotate my thumb and go belly down. Okay, the same idea as the last 2 escapes. If I drive right into him, I open myself up to getting triangled. Okay, or omoplata, right? We always talk about armbar, triangle, omoplata. Those 3 fit together nicely. Okay, so again, after I hitchhiker, if I'm not confident in my position, what do? Disengage. Completely pull away, control the ankles, and then reset. There we go. Not the best angle, but that's okay. So we're here. I extend my own arm and start to bridge. Look at the hip extension. I'm going to continue to walk until I go belly down, and here I am. There we go. If I'm not sure where I am, I pull out completely and control the ankles, and then I work to pass from here. If you're confident, you can pass right away. But just be careful. Let's try this angle here. That's good. You can do this arm. It's a different arm. That's good. You practice both arms. Isn't that? Okay, so we're here. All right. Already getting my feet ready to go. Already getting my feet, pointing my knees away. This is where I want to go. That's where I point my knees. I let go of my own grip and start to point towards him. No doubtably, he's going to start to fall back and try to get the arm lock. I walk my way out of it, and now look at my elbow bend. He can't armbar me now. Right? The elbow is bending in the complete opposite direction. It's no longer a hyperextension. Pull out, control the ankles, and then pass from there. Okay? So without anybody there, See here, he's attacking this arm. All right. I let go, I point my thumb away, and I start to bridge. And I walk myself belly down until I get to my knees. And at that point, my elbow should be in the complete opposite direction, ready to pull up. All right. This one, you might get stuck in it. You might try to hitchhiker, and they end up getting your wrist and rotating it back to the good position, and they get the arm lock. So again, take some time. You got to trust yourself a little bit. But once you get good at the hitchhiker escape, you become very, very hard to arm bar. Very, very difficult. It's a quick movement. That's why I like to cross my ankles underneath their shoulders, because it just locks everybody in there. It's a lot harder to bridge and start to get that rotation motion. But it's a really, really good technique once you kind of understand the gist of it. Okay, so we're gonna play around with it. Okay, let's find a ride. Hitchhiker. 1, 2, 3.